Hello, world, and welcome back to another episode from Beyond the Matrix. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to be talking about Venus because it's Venus's day. Before we do, I just want to show you Mercury and Pluto have joined together. So, again, that's Mercury taking a trip through the underworld. And this will be the last meeting between Mercury and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn for the rest of our lives, because none of us are going to live for another 250 years or even 200 years. So it's a pretty powerful time for us to reflect on. We'll never experience it again. And Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. So this is a big shift that we'll start to experience, especially as Pluto begins to ingress Aquarius, and that'll be interesting. So back to Venus. Venus is currently in the sign of Pisces. This is Venus's glyph, and Venus is exalted in Pisces, which means she's at her highest expression, and has just left a sextile with Uranus. She's going to be moving right along into a conjunction with Neptune. So Venus is this planet that is associated with love and harmony and creativity, even children, and being a mother, being a sister, being a friend. And so with Venus and Pisces expressing at her highest vibration, there's a lot of spirituality. There's a lot of what's behind the veil. So this is a very beautiful place for Venus to be in, especially considering everything Venus has in recent months been through. Every previous sign, there was something that just chaos for Venus. Like when Venus was in Aquarius, she approached a conjunction with Saturn, and it was a pretty big conjunction. And then prior to that, it was in Capricorn meeting Pluto. So there's just been a lot of battles for Venus. And so it's nice to have her unafflicted here in her exaltation. So because Venus is in this really dreamy sign and also approaching Neptune, who is Poseidon, the ruler of the sign of Pisces, it's a very beautiful conjunction, and that will go exact the day after Valentine's Day. So this is what I've been seeing for Valentine's Day. Is it's a little tense for Valentine's Day, but then after Valentine's Day on the 15th, it's like this majestic, euphoric, mystical experience. So it's the big aspect that Venus will be making. Otherwise, Venus is making aspects with the moon. And the only other aspect for the week really is approaching a sextile with Pluto. Fucker. Okay, so naturally, when I mention Pluto, my power goes out. Okay, so yeah, Venus and Neptune hit their conjunction, and this is very dreamy, mystical, and so and spiritual. And so I want to read today actually from Women Who Run with the Wolves by Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, because this is, as it says on the front, a deeply spiritual book. She honors what is tough, smart, and untamed in women. She venerates the female soul. And that seems really appropriate to read for this conjunction between Venus and Neptune. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm reading from chapter 7. It says, "The body in fairy tales. There are many mythos and fairy tales that describe the frailties and the wildness of the body. There is Greek Hephaestus, the lame worker of precious metals, the Mexican Hathor, the double-bodied one, Pisces, Venus born of the sea, the littlest tailor, who was ugly but could create new life, the women of Giant Mountain, who were courted for their strength, Thumbelina, who was able to travel about magically, and many more. In fairy tales, certain magic objects have transportive and sensory abilities that are apt metaphors for body, such as a magic leaf, magic carpet, cloud. Sometimes cloaks, shoes, shields, hats, and helmets give the power of invisibility, superior strength, far vision, and so forth. These are archetypal kith and kin. Each enables the physical body to enjoy deepened insight, hearing, flight, or protection of some sort for both psyche and soul. Before the invention of carriages, coaches, chariots, before domestication of animals for hauling and riding, it appears the motif that represented the sacred body was the magical object. Articles of clothing, amulets, talismans, and other objects, when related to in a certain way, transported the person across the river or the world. The magic carpet is an excellent symbol of the sensory and psychic value of the natural body. Fairy tales in which the flying carpet motif appears mimic the not very conscious attitude toward body in our own culture. The magic carpet is at first thought to be quite ordinary and without much value. But for those who seat themselves in its dense pile and say, "Arise," the carpet instantly trembles, rises a bit, hovers, and then, zoom, away it flies, transporting the rider to a different place, center, viewpoint, knowing. The body, through its states of arousal, awareness, and sensory experiences, such as listening to music, for instance, or hearing a loved one's voice, or smelling a certain fragrance, has the ability to transport us elsewhere. In fairy tales, as in mythos, the carpet signifies a form of locomotion, but of a certain kind, the kind that enables us to see into the world and into the underlife as well. In the Middle Eastern stories, it is the vehicle for spirit flight of the shamans. The body is no dumb thing from which we struggle to free ourselves. In proper perspective, it is a rocket ship, a series of atomic clover leaves, a tangle of neurological umbilici to other worlds and experiences. In addition to the magic carpet, there are other symbols for the body. One story in particular illustrates 3. This tale was given to me by Fatah Kelly. It is called, simply, The Tale of the Magic Carpet. In it, a sultan sends 3 brothers to search for the finest object on earth. Whichever brother is deemed to have found the ultimate treasure will win an entire kingdom. One brother searches and brings back an ivory wand, through which one can see into whatever one wishes. One brother brings back an apple whose smell can cure any affliction. The third brother brings back a magic carpet that can transport a person anywhere, simply by thinking of the place. So which is greater? Asked the Sultan. The ability to see far, the ability to heal and recover, or the ability for spirit flight? By turn, each brother glorifies the object he has found. Yet the Sultan finally waves his hand and proclaims, "None of these is greater than the other, for without one, the other would be of no use," and the kingdom is given in equal shares to each brother. Embedded in this tale are potent images that allow us to imagine what a true aliveness of body really is. This tale, and others like it, describe the fabulous powers of intuition, insight, sensory healing, and the rapture hidden in the body. We tend to think of body as this other thing that does its thing somewhat without us, and that if we treat it right, it will make us feel good. Many people treat their bodies as if the body is a slave, or perhaps they even treat it well but demand it to follow their wishes and whims as if it were a slave nonetheless. Some say the soul forms the body. But what if we were to imagine for a moment that the body informs the soul, helps it to adapt to mundane life, parses, translates, gives the blank page, the ink, and the pen with which the soul can write upon our lives? Suppose, as in fairy tales of the shape changers, the body is a god in its own right, a teacher, a mentor, a certified guide. Then what? Is it wise to spend a lifetime chastising the teacher who has so much to give and teach? Do we wish to spend a lifetime allowing others to detract from our bodies, judge them, find them wanting? Are we strong enough to refute the party line and listen deep, listen true to the body as a powerful and holy being? The idea in our culture of body solely as sculpture is wrong. Body is not marble. That is not its purpose. Its purpose is to protect, contain, support, and fire the spirit and soul within it, to be a repository for memory, to fill us with feeling. That is the supreme psychic nourishment. It is to lift us and propel us, to fill us with feeling, to prove that we exist, that we are here, to give us grounding, heft, weight. It is wrong to think of it as a place we leave in order to soar to the spirit. The body is the launcher of those experiences. Without the body, there would be no sensations of crossing thresholds. There would be no sense of lifting, no sense of height, weightlessness. All that comes from the body is the rocket launcher. In its nose capsule, the soul looks out the window into the mysterious starry night and is dazzled. Oh, that was beautiful. That hit me. I didn't really pick that excerpt. I just kind of opened the book. But this is the thing, that's what it's telling me, is that the body knows. And that might sound really weird, and it might sound to some people like I'm crazy. And I mean, Neptune can be representative of things like confusion, a haze, a fog, but it can also be very magical and mystical, just like our understanding of the body, frankly. We don't know what all this does. We have a scientific understanding of what the body does and all the functions of the body, but that's all the things we can measure. And as much as I love science, it ruins certain things, and magic is one of them. So I feel like I'm being called to experience the magic of my body and the magic of channeling through messages. So yeah, this was a little different than what I normally do, but I think it was even more beautiful. And that's so Venus, Neptune is coming in, not really know what's going on, but then it just takes you. And it's like, I mean, I cried after reading that. So it's awe-inspiring. It catches you, and it's like a beautiful work of art. Going to, anytime you're emotionally moved by a beautiful work of art, or how it feels to just be swept off your feet, that's the sense that I'm getting. I mean, my heart is like fluttering. Like, that's the feeling that I get from Venus, Neptune coming together in the sign of Pisces. It's just euphoric. So, of course, there are shadows with that. You'll want to watch out for them, but I don't even want to talk about them right now because I feel so good. So I'm going to leave it there for today. That's the way I want to describe this energy. And I'll be back very soon. So I hope to see you then.